Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of Community Connect. This is Fatima Aslam. Today I'm joined by someone whose journey shows us the power of relentlessly following one's dream. Yasir Masood is a Houston native and award-winning filmmaker, and his debut movie Istikhara won the Emerging Filmmaker Award. Today we're very lucky to have him here in the studio with us to tell us about his journey and some of the lessons that he's learned along the way. Assalamu alaikum, Yasir.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, of course.
Yasir, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about. But sabse pehle, you grew up in an immigrant family. You're South Asian, and you chose to pursue a career in a creative field, such as filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the people that are watching our show, they're young people. And, they're going to go through the same journey that you went through. And so I want to ask you, what kind of strength, what kind of motivation does it take to pursue a career like this?
Yeah. It takes a lot of strength and motivation. Obviously, a lot of relentlessness, a lot of belief in yourself. इसी के ज़्यादातर the opportunities are so far and few between, and you have to create so many more opportunities for yourself most of the time. And you can't necessarily see those opportunities like 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line. You might get 6 months and there's nothing really there for you, but you have to have the resolve and the ability to create opportunities for yourself when there aren't one. And then once you sort of get hit or essentially are successful, then you do this time and time again, every couple months until inshallah, alhamdulillah, you're stable. And I think that's kind of always the goal as an artist and as a filmmaker is to be able to find that stability for yourself.
Yeah. So Yasir, when did you kind of get interested in storytelling?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that kind of you got interested when you were a child and your interest grew so tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I think Arog bachpan pe interest था कहानियों का. I think मेरे parents के बहुत कहानियों हम लोग को बताते थे, grandparents कहानियों बताते थे, और फिर ये सोचता कि हॉलीवुड में सिर्फ एक तरह की कहानी मिलती है मुसलमानों के ऊपर, पाकिस्तानियों के ऊपर, साउथ एशियंस के ऊपर, और हमारी पूरी इंसानियत नहीं दिखाते.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest thing, was showing the humanity. Like a city like Houston, in your family, there's so much breadth of humanity, culture, faith, for Islam, right? That I experienced growing up. Magar Hollywood mein nahi dikhate.
Yeah.
तो फिर मैंने बस ये responsibility अपने आप पे डालती, जो भी छोटा मोटा मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ.
Yeah.
इस बात के लिए तो फिर मैं उस पर्पस को फॉलो करूँगा.
Yeah.
और मेरा पूरा मेहनत और पूरा रिजॉल्व और पूरी ज़िंदगी डेडिकेट करूँगा इस टॉपिक पे और इस इशू पे रिजॉल्व करना हॉलीवुड में.
Yeah. तो Yasir, do you remember कि आपने कोई बचपन में कोई ऐसी चीज़ देखी हो, some movie, something that stands out,
Yeah.
That you can talk about, and perhaps something that shifted your perspective?
Yeah. I think, बहुत सी movies देखी हैं.
Yeah.
I think obviously हमारी cinematic tradition बहुत rich है. हम देसियों में जैसे दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे, कभी खुशी कभी गम. Hollywood ये यकीन नहीं करता कि हम लोग भी बिल्कुल Shakespearean वाले journeys or stories हम लोग tell कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
Right? हमारे अपने आप के culture में. In terms of English movies, there's The Godfather 2, there's मेरे पापा लोग Die Hard देखते थे, right? ऐसे ये action movies, Die Hard, Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone वाली. ये honestly जो भी मैं देखता था उसमें मेरा passion बढ़ता गया. और मेरा I think ज़्यादातर passion शुरू होता एक कहानियों में, जैसे novels में.
Yeah.
और paintings में.
Okay.
और फिर novels और paintings और मिला के ये filmmaking हुआ है. तो वो दोनों चीज़ें study करके फिर ये filmmaking में मिला था.
Achha. That's a very interesting thing that you shared. Especially before I ask you more about filmmaking, let's get to know your journey a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You went to UT and you studied economics, right? So जब आपने college graduate किया what was going on in your mind कि मैं आगे मैं क्या करने लगा हूँ?
Yeah. मैं तो पहले लॉ स्कूल जाने का तैयारी कर रहा था और फिर एक फैमिली फ्रेंड ने मुझे बताया था कि लाइक जॉब्स वॉब्स के मुश्किलात थे, तो फिर मैंने ये सोचा कि लाइक उसमें भी जॉब्स मुश्किल है, इंटरनेट में भी जॉब्स मुश्किल है, तो फिर might as well I follow my passion and might as well I do the work that I could dedicate my whole life to, not necessarily the work that I want to do to make money or to do as a 9 to 5. Jo say passion wala kaam tha. I just felt like a purpose or responsibility to do that type of work. तो फिर मैंने मेरा पहला शॉर्ट फिल्म कॉलेज में बनाया था।
अच्छा।
तो मेरे ग्रैंडफादर के ऊपर मेरी अम्मी बताती थी एक कहानी, जो मेरे ग्रैंडफादर इधर यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में काम करते थे, ह्यूस्टन में गैस स्टेशन पे, जैसे हम लोग खूब गैस स्टेशन में काम करते हैं। तो फिर 2-3 बजे एक दिन रात को he was robbed and he took a bullet to the head, but he was able to survive, इसलिए कि वो पाकिस्तान इंडिया में शिकारी करने के लिए जाते थे। और तो वो एक्सपर्ट शिकारी वाले थे, तो उनको एक conscious, he knew a way to stay conscious, गिनते हुए, so 1 2 3,
Wow.
और फिर उनकी मेमोरीज पाकिस्तान का, उनकी मेमोरीज इंडिया का सोचते रहे, conscious है ना। तो I just thought it was a beautiful metaphor for the immigrant experience. हम लोग ज़्यादातर जो हम लोग सीखते हैं पाकिस्तान में, जो हम लोग सीखते हैं इंडिया में, वो हम लोग नॉलेज और एक्सपीरियंस यूज़ करते हैं इस मुल्क में, अमेरिका में। हम लोग को सक्सेस बनाना, हम लोग को बच्चे पालना, घर बनाना, right? And it helps us so much being where we're from in order to build lives here, and that's why as a community we're so successful, right? तो फिर मैंने बस ये सोचा कि इस कहानी में मैं बनाऊं, I think in the world it would be more impactful for me to go that direction, और ये फिल्म बनाऊं हमारे लिए, और मैं स्टोरीज ये वाले स्टोरीज बनाऊं हमारे पेरेंट्स के, हमारे grandparents के. I think that's more impactful for the world than at least me being a vakil in that moment, or being a lawyer in that moment.
Yeah.
And so that's when I decided to go that route. I was working in finance and sales, and job thi, internship ki job thi, inshallah wo pata, magar like, paisa banana is very, very, very important thing, very beautiful thing. Magar at the end of the day, jo mujhe impact karna tha culture pe or Hollywood mein, I thought that was ek hi zindagi hai, to phir I decided to go that route.
Yeah. So Yasir, you just mentioned a very interesting thing, and I think this is a dilemma that a lot of people go through, which is, the choice between following your passion and probably pursuing what you call traditionally financial security. And this is a lot more prevalent in immigrant households, right? Because they've grown up in a lot of insecurity. I guess what I'm trying to understand is how do you make that decision?
Yeah.
You've done very well in your undergrad. You could perhaps have taken, even if you didn't pursue law, you could have done some, sales, some finance, something. But us time pe, and such a young age, right? In your early 20s, to pause and to be like, no, let me give this a shot.
Yeah.
Walk me through what was going on in your head.
Yeah, I think जब एक artist होता है, जब creativity उनके life में होता है, जैसे सांस लेना, if it's as important to you as it is to breathe, to be able to tell a story, to be able to act, to be a musician, then go that route, because it's going to be extremely, extremely hard route. Magar if you can't live without it though, then you should go into that route. And then the mentality that I had was just, my papa air condition repairman in Houston में, वो इधर आए थे अकेले 80s में, और जो मेहनत मैंने देखी है, like घर बनाना, पैसे बनाना, business बनाना इधर as an immigrant अकेले, no connections at all. The hard work that took every single day, every single hour, मैं बस ये सोचता था कि मैं इस काम पे उतना मेहनत कर सकता हूँ तो फिर मैं इंशाल्लाह कामयाब होऊंगा. And that's what I try to do every single day. हर दिन यही सोचता हूँ कि जितना मेहनत वो कर रहे हैं, in construction, in गर्मियों में, वही type of मेहनत मैं इस काम में करूँगा, और इंशाल्लाह वैसे मैं कामयाब होगा.
Yeah.
And then hopefully impactful for, somebody for the next generation or for our culture in America.
Yeah. So, Yasir, it's very interesting कि आपने कभी filmmaking formally नहीं पढ़ी. It's not something that you went to college for. When you decided, that this is what I want to do, and also you said कि मैंने college में भी, एक बनाई. तो how did you learn?
Yeah. I'm a very big proponent of learning as you do something. I think that's the best way to learn. I think आप बहुत पढ़ सकते हैं, सीख सकते हैं, मगर जब तक आप करें नहीं, आप सबसे ज़्यादा learning with experience से आता है. And so I was lucky enough कि जो hustle है, जो मेहनत है, वो पहले करें. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, you're going to fail a lot, मगर वो failure में बहुत सारा learning होता है, बहुत सारा experience, knowledge होता है. And that's how you go to the next level as a creator, as a professional, as a filmmaker.
Yeah. So tell us about the first time the first project that you completed.
Yeah.
How was that, and kind of what did you learn from that initial journey?
Yeah, जो मेरे grandfather की कहानी थी, पहले मैंने लिखी थी कहानी में काम कर रहा था 9 to 5 finance में, 50 hours, 60 hours a week, मगर it was very unsatisfying life for myself.
Yeah.
And so so then I just decided to write the short film script. And then because I was working in finance and sales, मैं बहुत लोग से call करके बात कर रहा था, business कर रहा था. Film is the same way, right? You need locations, गाड़ी, prop, crew. You need to pay everybody as well, right? सारे पैसों का manager, क्या. तो मेरी job जो मैं कर रहा था, all of those same skill set from finance I applied to my first film. And all of the, what I learned in school, I was applying to my first film, and just almost like a project manager, right? Like in tech or in something different. So I was just managing the project every step of the way. And then alhamdulillah, दोस्तों भी मेरे फिल्म स्कूल में थे, तो फिर उनने मुझे कैमरा दिला दिया था स्कूल से. मैं प्रोग्राम में नहीं था, मगर उनने मुझे फेवर कर था कि हम लोग टेस्ट करेंगे ये कैमरा, हम लोग स्कूल को बताएंगे कि हम लोग टेस्ट कर रहे हैं ये कैमरा. तो फिर हम वो बड़े कैमरा लेके, बड़े महंगे कैमरा लेके वेस्ट टेक्सास गए 12 घंटे दूर to the desert. इसी desert हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि पाकिस्तान लगेगा. तो हम लोग 3 गाड़ियों में गए desert, सलवार कमीज में, बिल्कुल टेक्सास मेक्सिको के border के पास.
Wow.
सलवार कमीज में, and then we had 3 unloaded guns. Essentially इसी को शिकारी थे, right? शिकारी की स्टोरी थी. तो फिर सलवार कमीज में 3 guns के साथ हम लोग 12 घंटे दूर, बिल्कुल टेक्सास मेक्सिको border के पास. बस यही दुआ कर रहा था कि कोई हम लोग को स्टॉप नहीं करे, या कोई रुकाए नहीं. इसी के फिर हम लोग को, उनको क्या होता कि हम लोग कहाँ से आए, कौन है, right? Magar alhamdulillah, everything worked out, and we were able to make that film, and the film was successful in its own way. It went to the Austin Film Festival and a couple other film festivals in Texas. और फिर यकीन आया था कि okay, alhamdulillah, maybe I have a future in this. इसी के मेरे पहले short film success हुई है. And then that's how I got the confidence to make more and make more and make more. And then honestly, that's how I got the family confidence of okay, मैं इस profession में जा सकता हूँ और मैं कामयाब हो सकता हूँ. इसी के मैंने दिखा दिया था उनको कि मैं बहुत serious हूँ इस काम पे. मैं ऐसे नहीं है कि मैं कह रहा हूँ कि मुझे ये करना है, मगर उसके पीछे काम नहीं कर रहा, right? Like मैं actively काम कर रहा हूँ, actively success हो रहा हूँ. So फिर alhamdulillah, my family after that understood what I was doing.
Yeah. That's so true, Yasir. And what you just mentioned, that, success speaks for itself. And a lot of times that even if your family is, not supporting you in the beginning, you earn their support. Because, when you're good at something and you're putting the same level of dedication that you saw your father put in his whole life, of course they'll support you. We're going to talk about your debut project and also all the things that you're working on now, but right after the short break. Let's take a break.
Tempura frozen food. Quick, easy and delicious. फ्रीजर से निकाला, कढ़ाई में डाला और मिनटों में तैयार. Super fast, super tempting. Tempura frozen food. The taste of perfection.
A for app, B for best, C for confidence से D for download करो इसे अपने फोन पे. Time is precious, order food delicious. सारा पाकिस्तान बोले food papa. Rum pum pum, food papa dum. Rum pum pum, food papa dum.
Barbecue gola kebab, Harry body etc. Seafood, ice cream, cake or beverages. Grocery में सब मसाले, चटनी, केचप सारी डालें. सब्जियां, fruit.
That's a गोश्त भी बगवाले दा.
बेगम ने पकड़ा दी लिस्ट, कोई ना बहाना है. ट्रैफिक के झंझट में मुझे नहीं जाना है. Rum pum pum, food papa dum. Rum pum pum, food papa dum.
The law offices of Umar Khwaja is a Houston-based personal injury law firm. Founded in 2018 by attorney Umar Khwaja, the firm represents clients injured in car accidents, truck collisions, workplace incidents, and more, offering every client personal attention, honest guidance, and relentless advocacy. Whether you're facing medical bills, lost income, or insurance disputes,
Anytime you've been injured in an auto accident or a workplace accident, a slip and fall, and it's not your fault, call the law office of Omar Khwaja. We're here to help you. 1-833-GET-OMAR, www.attorneyomar.com.
When a loved one suffers a stroke or neurological disorder, finding specialized care in Pakistan can be overwhelming. Too many families struggle to access the treatment they need. Helping Hand USA is expanding access to care in Pakistan. Give zakat and sadaqah through Helping Hand USA today and join this historic endeavor to redefine healthcare for the future in Pakistan.
welcome back to the show. Yasir, welcome back to the show. Yasir, before going on a break, we were talking about how you pursued this as your passion and, made this your full-time career. I want to talk about your debut film, Istikhara. सबसे पहले, आपने ये नाम कैसे सोचा? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I think istikhara dua जब करते हैं, जब कुछ फैसला, कुछ big life decision बनाना पड़ता है, right? तो मैंने इस फिल्म बनाई थी तकरीबन कोविड के बाद. कोविड हुआ था, मैं न्यूयॉर्क में रहता अकेला अपार्टमेंट में. तो फिर ये सोचा था कि मुझे इधर ही रहना है या वापस टेक्सास जाना है. ये फिल्म मेकिंग ये मेरे लिए सही है या वापस टेक्सास जाके एयर कंडीशनिंग में काम करूँ या कोई दूसरी काम करूँ. तो फिर I was debating all of that. इसी के सारे इंडस्ट्री चले गया था कोविड के बाद. न्यूयॉर्क बिल्कुल शट डाउन हो गया था. तो फिर उसी टॉपिक पे अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह फिल्म बनाया था कि एक यंग अदाकार is essentially trying to decide if he could survive in New York as an immigrant, as a Pakistani actor, right? And so उसी subject पे बनाया था जो भी मैं what I was going through.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was just a contemplation and the meditation of being between two worlds and then deciding which world that what the correct next step is to be able to go to, and then alhamdulillah at the end of the day realizing that you just leave it to God, leave it to the universe, right?
So Yasir, जैसे आप अभी बता रहे हैं इस project के बारे में, walk us through the process of making a film, because I think कहना आसान है कि you wrote a story और फिर आपने movie बना दी, but since we are lucky enough to have you here with us, please tell us कि मतलब film from the point that you conceive an idea to the point that a movie is released, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean her process is different, and it depends on what stage of life you are in at, what stage of success you're at. मैं हॉलीवुड में अभी काम नहीं कर रहा था. मैं हॉलीवुड में आजकल काम करता हूँ उस फिल्म की वजह से. मैं उस टाइम पे अकेले ही था, कोई जानने वाले नहीं थे, right? मगर मेरे रूममेट he was a cinematographer, or because New York was shut down, हम लोग हर दिन हर रात बातचीत करते थे कि कौन से काम आपको करना है, कौन से काम मुझे करना है. हम लोग together इस काम कर सकते हैं. ऐसे कोई हॉलीवुड का काम नहीं है, कोई इंडस्ट्री का काम नहीं है इस मुल्क में. And then New York also gave out $10,000 for an unemployment check because of the government shutdown. तो फिर ये भी हुआ था कि $10,000 थे जेब में. You know, we decided that I could produce a movie उसी पैसों के साथ, essentially. वो पैसे मिलते थे. तो फिर ये mentality था कि like ये either movie hit हो या rent के पैसे नहीं होंगे तो मैं वापस चले जाऊँगा टेक्सास पे काम करने के लिए. मगर so after those conversations with my roommate मैं लिखने लगा keeping in mind कि उनको क्या बनाना था और फिर हम लोग को access क्या है, right? Access क्या मतलब कौन से locations हम लोग को अच्छे लगते हैं न्यूयॉर्क में, ब्रुकलिन में, apartments and inside locations जो मेरे friends को that they may have, right? So her scene was written in a way that I kept in mind locations and people that I could produce and people that I knew in my own life so that the cost stayed very low. And at the end of the day, because we had the equipment, because my roommate was a cinematographer and our apartment was empty pretty much, it was only film studio equipment. हम लोग बिल्कुल like ऐसे we'd have to step over like a C-stand or a camera or a lens here because our whole apartment was a studio. So I engineered the script around what I could produce, and that's why I was able to produce a feature film by myself or, you know, with my friends, the team that I had, Isike, because it was designed, the production was designed that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what challenges did you face? Of course, you know, the obvious, it's COVID, you know, you're by yourself with your roommate, and, you know, you guys are trying to put together a project and nobody knows what's going to happen in the world, let alone in our own lives. So yeah, talk a bit, you know, about the challenges of putting together a project like this, especially in the circumstances that you were in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of challenges in terms of, you know, first one was people. Everybody was like, there's so many people that told me, oh, you can't do that. You can't make a feature film for that amount of money. This is too expensive. That's too expensive. The second thing was obviously COVID, because COVID, everything was shut down. But alhamdulillah, like what you see when you set out to go do work is that you take the challenges and you make it so that it's your benefit. So because of COVID, New York streets were empty. New York locations were empty. हम लोग कैमरा लगा सकते हैं, कोई हम लोग को bother नहीं करेगा. हम लोग को बिल्कुल production के sets, location के permission, city से permission नहीं लिया था. मगर सबसे iconic locations New York में हम लोग थे और set बनाया उधर. इसलिए कोई था ही नहीं. तो फिर so then all of these sort of like negative you know, challenges that you have, you know, I think it applies to anything in life, right? Like you could make it a net benefit and you could use it to your advantage. I'm trying to think of like other, I think it was mainly just internal confidence too. सीखे सब बता रहे हैं कि ये नहीं हो सकता सही से और ये अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, मगर at the end of the day अपने आप को belief है or resilience है or I guess experience enough है कि ये चीज़ शायद negative हो मगर positive mindset, you can realize that thing is a net benefit as well.
Yeah, that's such a great message that, you know, it's just a mindset at the end of the day, turning challenges into opportunities, and you're such a great example of somebody that did that.
Thank you.
Yasir, tell us a bit about how your life changed, you know, once this project was released. And, you know, I guess when you make a project like this, firstly, how do you release it? You know, I'm curious to know. And, you know, tell us what happened after that.
Yeah. So after I made the film was picked up for distribution with Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So it's on Prime right now, streaming for free. There's a producer, after I won the award at the film festival, there's two producers that took notice of me. One was somebody that was looking for sort of independent type of new voices in cinema. And I started working with him for my next feature film. And then there's another producer that got wind of my story of making films for very cheap. Just मैंने आपको बताया था 10,000 का ज़्यादातर, you know, movies take millions and millions of dollars. But he owned a documentary studio in Los Angeles where he was trying to produce documentaries for very cheap. So alhamdulillah, I was able to enter Hollywood. I was able to enter the industry because I was able to make movies very cheaply. So I became a full-time producer at the documentary studio. And so from then, I've just been working in Hollywood, working as a filmmaker, as a commercial director now as well.
So Yasir, how has Hollywood been? I know that's the obvious question.
Yeah.
But also, like when you went there, was there certain conceptions you had in mind about how life would be there, or and has something changed from your personal experience in Hollywood?
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood का बस मेहनत करना पड़ती है, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I wasn't thinking too much about like Hollywood,
Yeah.
the fame and all that. Like at the end of the day, जो मैं करना चाह रहा था is very disconnected from celebrity and all that.
Yeah.
मैं towards a meaningful work करना चाह रहा हूँ, right?
Yeah.
मैं बस हर project का बस मेहनत का सोचा कि
Yeah.
it's like this is how hard I need to work. This is how hard I need to work to stay afloat in Hollywood. इसी के हजारों 2,000-3,000 लोग हैं जो that want your job, right? जो that moved to Hollywood for that want to make movies as well. But honestly, my best strength was just the fact that I would work harder than anybody else, right? Or I think वो सिर्फ वही immigrant mentality से आती है कि जैसे we see our friends, family, parents working to survive to be successful, even in Pakistan, right? Working to essentially do better for their kids, make sure that their kids are educated, and just applying that to my own work. And so I wasn't really focused on the rest of Hollywood, just in terms of control of what I had control over, and then believing in myself and just believing in God at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think what you're basically saying is just focus, right? And not getting too caught up with stuff that's happening outside of work.
Yeah.
So Yasir, what projects are you working on right now? And what are some things in the pipeline that people can look forward to?
Yeah. Right now, I have a commercial that I just put out with a company called Boxraw. So I'm doing internal creative directing work for them and working on a couple of documentaries that I'm directing for them. And then I'm working on my second feature film that is in production right now and going into financing and casting stages with the studio, and then with another producer, with the Oscar-winning producer. So alhamdulillah, we're just now getting ready to produce my next movie. I also do VFX and animation at a stereo film company. And we're essentially like an AI-based, trying to figure out how Hollywood is going to change because of AI at the VFX and animation level. And then to do it in a way that's ethical and responsible for the industry and other people that are working in Hollywood, and not infringing on any copywriting or licensing issues. But alhamdulillah, we produce movies for Netflix, Disney, ESPN, all of that. And so I'm just working on those projects, and then working on my own project, alhamdulillah, and then in the commercial world as well.
Yeah. Because just out of curiosity, I mean, how do you see AI affecting filmmaking?
I think that there is an opportunity here for AI to essentially help people that are underserved and underserved communities like countries like Pakistan, India, different industries in Africa, where you wouldn't have access to the same VFX and production design level, to democratize those tools so that everybody can use those tools to tell their story in a responsible way. I think there's one direction where that happens, and that's what the company that I work for is advocating for. There's another direction, but I don't. It includes loss of jobs and pretty much reconfiguring all of Hollywood in terms of a VFX level. But alhamdulillah, I think inshallah it's gonna help a lot of people make movies for more cheaply, and us to be able to get more diverse projects from different parts of the world, inshallah. I think that's what my hope is.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Yasir.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, finally, I'd like to ask you, what are your goals for the next decade?
For the next decade?
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking long term, And also, for anyone that's watching, what's like one piece of advice that you would give them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the advice would just be to, hold on to your culture, hold on to your faith, hold on to, your parents or whoever are the good influences in your life, and just believe in yourself. Like that's it. हम लोग कुछ नहीं पता ऊपर नीचे कोई control नहीं है. Anything can happen. You could be extremely successful and lose your job for 2 years or 3 years, and AI comes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anything could happen, but as long as you believe in yourself and have sabr, right?
Yeah.
Like have patience with the process, and essentially just work hard and have purpose, right? Purpose ye bhi hai ki jaise not make things for the sake of being famous, for the sake of being celebrity, but make things with like good intention, make things that you think are going to better the world, right? I think if you do that, and if you have sabr with it, and you live with your purpose like that, have good purpose like that, then inshallah you can't fail. You can't fail, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just the advice that I would give anybody that's younger is like, if you're focused on doing good work, then good work follows, inshallah. And so, yeah.
Oh, that's great. And thank you so much, Yasir.
Thank
it was
you.
great to have you on our show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for anyone that watches this, there's so much inspiration in your journey and so much to learn from how
Thank
you
you so
continue
much.
to challenge yourself and, continue to take a leap of faith and follow your dreams. So we wish you the best of luck with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Hum TV for sponsoring the show, and thank you to our sponsors as well. See you next time with a new episode and a new guest.